You guys probably know Sam Harris. He is a very prominent podcaster. And of course, he was always very anti-Trump. During the election, he was always ragging on Trump, very much so. He quote tweeted himself. In an old tweet, he said, "Feeling overwhelming gratitude for the adults in the room on January 20th. Today, he quoted that and said, publicly eating these words syllable by syllable."
Good.
That's
How could he have not have seen that?
See, that's
Sam Harris, man.
to that point. You say Biden voters voted for this. The thing that anyone could have seen this coming. Biden has been in Congress since 1973. He has a track record. He's known. This is like when Donald Trump became president and people, especially the people like the liberals who boosted him over Marco Rubio during the primaries, were like, oh my God, how could he be like this? I was like, it's Donald Trump. He has been like this since he's been in the public eye. None of this is new. This is who he has always been. This is his whole persona. Biden is a known entity. If you did not know that he is one of the worst people on foreign policy, who's been wrong about every major foreign policy issue since the 1970s, that's on you. It was on you to do your research, to listen. But to your point about being unelected, Trumping anti-elected. That's the thing. I can't remember. It was a guest on your own show who was talking about this. But one of the things that the press did, and a quick sidebar, I will say one thing that's really impressed me, as much as anything about Afghanistan has impressed me, the press coverage has actually been really good. It's been thorough. It's been damning. It's been completely just straightforward.
They love war. You know what I mean? So the one time you're getting an honest approach is when Biden screws up the war they want.
I don't know if Clarissa Ward, like CNN, loves war.
No. It's just the editors at CNN.
The editors,
they choose what's going to get them money, what's going to get attention, and so right now this is ratings.
But to the point,
we heard with the Veritas leaks, we know what CNN's all about. But I agree, I do.
To the point, I cannot remember his name. He was a guest on your show. He was talking about one of the things the media and the Democrats did is they terrified people every single day. Everything Trump did was new. It was unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this before. This is the worst thing. Every single day, even normal stuff like dumping fish food in a koi pond in Japan.
And it was edited. It was a fake video.
It was a fake video. I know. This is one of those moments you write about it. I'm like, what am I writing about? Because they made, oh my God, you know what happened in Japan? Every single day, they terrified people into voting for anything that was Orange Man.
I like to use the plumber analogy, but I think at this point we should use the mechanic analogy. I'd like you to imagine that your car breaks down and you have two mechanics before you, and one guy is this tall, loudmouth orange guy going, "It's a disgusting horse car. It's nasty. I hate it, but I'll fix it. I'll make it run. Your car will be great." And you're like, "Oh, jeez." Yeah. And then you look over, there's another guy, and he's asleep. And when you're like, "Yo, are you going to fix my car?" He goes, "Turn it on a shop of pressure." And you're like, I'm going to go with that guy who just said something random, some random gibberish sentence. I don't even know what he said, and I'm going to trust it. And then you get in your car, you're driving down the street, and then you're coming to a red light, and you press the brake down, and nothing happens, and you're like, what's happening? I'm so surprised that I chose the guy who couldn't even speak, and now my car crashes.
But that's the thing, is that's not even who he was in 2020. There's 40 years of history to look at.
Right.
I know so many people who voted for him over Trump because they said, I voted for character, competence, and decency, and like Biden is neither of those, and he's shown that repeatedly. And I would say too, to the issue of people being terrified every single day because everything was unprecedented, the irony of that now is the United States gearing up to abandon U.S. citizens in a Taliban-run country. That actually is as terrifying as all the BS, most of the BS they said about Donald Trump for all years he was president. So we come to this area now, and it's like, where are we supposed to go? So you say Biden, oh yeah, the guy who's clearly not who he was in 2012. That's what I can say about him. I covered him in 2012. I covered him in 2020. And I can tell you right now, Biden is not the man he was in 2012 when he filleted Paul Ryan during the vice presidential debate. But even beyond that, one of the greatest tricks in American politics is that Joe Biden rebranded as this kindly old ice cream eating uncle when he's been one of the meanest knife fighters in the Senate. He was famous for it. And for some reason, people who've been covering Congress and the United States and U.S. politics for much longer than I ever have just went along with it. Old Grandpa Joe loves his grandpa and his pa in Scranton. And it was like, what? We all know who he is. We've seen this over and over again. He is a ruthless, cunning, self-serving, money-grubbing
plagiarist.
Plagiarist.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he made
over and over again.
He had to
He
drop
embellished
out.
a story about his own wife and daughter died.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Ugh.